Good evening, friends, and welcome to Occult, Occult, and Occult, a twisted narrative actual play in the world of Blades in the Dark. My name is Kristian, and I will be your GM for this evening. Tonight, I'm joined by four familiar faces, if you've watched our previous two Blades in the Dark actual plays, or perhaps some of the other videos on this channel. I've been a GM for many years now. I've GM'd for Andy, and I've GM'd Blades in the Dark twice before on this channel. Now I'm going to ask everyone else to introduce themselves. So starting with Sarah, could you introduce yourself, please?
Oh, you've given away my name already. So I'm Yig in Discord, and I've played the first two Blades in the Dark, and I'm looking forward to seeing what pesky escapades we can get up to today.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Sarah. I hope to call them pescapades. Kyle, could you introduce yourself, please?
Greetings and salutations all. My name is Kyle. I'm fairly new to Blades in the Dark, only joining last session, but I've been having a lot of fun with it, and Kristian is a very good DM, and hopefully please don't kill us tonight.
No, shucks. Well, after that, well, thank you very much. Yes, I'll just make a note of that. Kyle is fine tonight. Next up is Rachel.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Rachel, and I was in the last couple of Blades in the Dark games, and I'll be playing Jellybean from the last game again because she was a lot of fun, as was our last game. So looking forward to today.
But no spoilers for the last game. If you want to see what happened with Jellybean in the last game, please go and watch it. And last, but by no means least, Andy.
Hi there, I'm Andy from Twisted Narrative. I GM so many times. I'm an eternal GM. This is at the moment the only game that I get a chance to play in. So as you can imagine, I'm super excited about whatever we get up to tonight. So thank you very much, Kristian, for once again looking after us all.
Thank you very much, Andy. And I hope tonight is a good one. Because tonight we return to Duskwall, Duskwall, the city of dusk. A city where there is unbelievable wealth and indescribable poverty. These aspects are often no more than a few streets away from each other. You have the areas of Barrowcleft. There, the Ministry of Provisions and labourers and overseers live and work. Brightstone, where the wealthiest live. Char Hollow, where the wealthiest don't. Charter Hall, where government does its business. And then Coleridge, where the workers dwell in the smoggy depths. Crowsfoot, taking the best parts from the areas that surround it, and the worst. The Docks, the oldest part of the city. Night Market, where commerce is king. Silkshaw, which is the Red Lamp district. 6 Towers, haunted and fallen into ruin. And finally, White Crown, where there's absolutely no use talking about White Crown because, well, this lot will never make it there. You're all standing in Auntie Helen's drawing room again, surrounded by maps and trinkets of her career gone past. Across from you is the looming figure of Sark. He is beaming and regarding each one of you in turn. What does he see when he looks at your character, Sarah?
He sees a female dressed in a very long skirt, a very tight waistcoat, probably strewn somewhere on a chair or a table nearby is a very tatty boater hat, and a lot of her clothes looks very grubby, but she tries to keep it presentable. She has long dark hair which is in a plait down her back.
Lovely. And your character's name is?
Grimlyn.
Grimlyn, thank you. And then we move to Sark removes to regard Vixen. So, what does Vixen look like, Kyle?
Vixen is a female that stands about 5'8", very sharp blue eyes with the dirty blonde hair. She's, on this occasion, can be found wearing a waistcoat, the flat cap poking out of one of the many pockets in there.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Vixen. And next, his eyes drift over and then go down because he's looking at the rather diminutive form of Jellybean. What does Jellybean look like?
Yeah, so Jellybean is very short because she's very young. She's a little girl, and she is dressed in very rich, luxurious dress, all velvet and frills, and she has blonde ringlets, and yeah, looks a little out of place in this group.
Quite. And finally, he looks over at the familiar form of Larkin. What does Larkin look like, Andy?
Larkin is quite a large man, but he stoops a lot, so it's difficult to really judge his size. He seems to have bulk to him, but those of you who actually know him, it's not his bulk, it's a heavy coat and several layers of clothing to keep him warm. He currently, even though he's in a house, has got a sort of tatty woolen scarf round his neck and a hat on his head. Greasy, sort of shoulder-length hair sort of peeks out from beneath the cap as well, and his coat is covered in stains and sort of dried candle wax, which is peeling off now like scabs. He's got fingerless gloves on as well, and what you can see of his fingers are ink stained. He also seems to have a prevalent sort of nervous tic, but those of you who know him realize it's not that, it's him sensing things and constantly sort of looking to the left and the right as he's catching glimpses of perhaps things that are there or maybe that are not. And that's Barkin Larkin.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Larkin. Sark nods approvingly after looking at you all. Well done on that last job. You really gave Arkwright a run for his money. Got us some nice coin. And you got us the medal. Oh, last thing I heard, Arkwright's recovered in hospital. But we can't rest on our laurels. We've had a request. And you've been asked for nearly by name. Not quite, though. You're getting a reputation. That's a good thing and a bad thing. But this person has got enough coin for me to keep me trap shut and to make sure others keep their trap shut too. So, let me tell you about it. We've had this request. There's a horse in the city, a young one. I know. I made the same face too when I heard there was an horse in the city. And it's not just a goat that's been made to look like an horse, which of course you would all know. Horses are very, very rare. The hansom cabs around town are pulled by these enlarged goats. So actual horses, those are prized things.
Tasty.
So, Sark continues. My contact, Rex, he's confirmed that the horse is at Trelawney and Company's manufacturing plant. Sark looks a little uneasy.
What's the problem?
Well, it might not be a problem for you, Larkin. I might be thinking about the more sensitive ones about you. He looks at Jellybean and his eyes immediately move away to Vixen and Grimlyn. Well, it's in 6 Towers. And our employer wants you to go there and get that horse and deliver it to his house in Charter Hall. And for those that don't know, or you would all know, that Six Towers is a formerly prestigious district. One of the older districts used to be Six Towers in Six Towers. They were the grand residences of Doskvold's first noble houses. But now only 2 of those towers remain. And, well, the entire district has a rundown, empty, haunted feel. Lots of buildings sprawling out without power. Broad stone streets cracked and buckled. Squatters everywhere. Not a particularly nice place to be.
So the horse is in that tower's place.
Well, the horse is in a factory, in a manufacturing plant in Six Towers. This plant's got a stable for goats, for what they do, what they produce. But the rumor is the horse is back there, and as I said, someone's coming to me that wants to buy that horse, and well, they can't buy it if we don't have it. So a transaction has to happen.
Does it have to be alive?
Yeah, he wants it alive. He wants the horse alive. This Colt alive. He's going to look after it well. He wants it for his collection's the wrong word, but wants it for his menagerie.
Petting zoo?
I think they might let people pet them. I don't think he might let you pet them, Jellybean. Well, unless you look at him, then that way you're looking at me.
Well, assuming the horse actually is there.
Well, Rex has never let me down yet.
Well, yes, but you said there was rumours of a horse. They might not be true.
Well, you'll have to find out, won't you?
Presumably, if you know the rumours, other people know the rumours. Do we know if there's any other jobs?
Not that I've heard of. No. This gentleman, Mr. Rates is his name. Mr. Rates, he's a sort of man that's got a lot of money, and they said can make sure that the wheels are greased, so that hopefully you're the only ones on the job. He's willing to pay 6 coin for this, and that's a good amount of coin.
Where do we need to get the horse delivered to?
He's got a house up in Charter Hall.
It's next to Six Towers. Shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Nah, it's not bad to get it there. You just have to get it through the city without everyone looking at the horse and trying to turn it into a kebab.
I assume goat transports exist.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can get carriages and things like that. I mean, and you would know that goat transports most of the stuff around the city. So there are horses, goats and carts. There are sort of bigger transports for that sort of carry cargo around the city by goats.
I mean, like the equivalent of a horse box rather than a.
Yes. There are goat boxes.
Yeah, which Jellybean wouldn't really, I guess, be aware of as a.
I don't know.
Practitioner.
She might ride goats at the weekend.
Oh well, yeah. I don't know if goats are in the replacing the social vein, then probably.
I was thinking about we chuck a few shaggy rugs over the horse, make it look like a goat, maybe stick some horns on the front, and no
Disguise is
one.
worth doing.
Yeah.
However we transport it, extra cover is good.
Oh no, we'll just lead it to the streets. Everybody wondering what the hell. I was like, that'd be fine. No,
It's gonna have to smell like a goat.
I can make it smell like a goat.
But yeah.
You just get a load of goat shit and just rub it over it and smell like a goat. We'll
Well,
all
yeah.
smell like
I
goats.
I don't want to do that bit, so I'll touch it.
Right. Well, do you want the 6 coin? Or
Yeah.
we'll share.
No. I'll take the 6 coin, thank
I'm
you.
sure you would.
It will be split. Gang finances. So, are you in?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Need
Well,
the pocket money.
well,
I don't.
well then, I better start showing you where everything is. And he produces a large map, the large map of Doskwell, and puts it on the desk and shows you where Six Towers is on sort of the eastern edge of Doskwell, and points out on the map where this manufacturing plant is. So really now we go into free play where you can do a little bit of planning, but the idea is not to plan too much because we go as quickly as we can. We go to the engagement role where you plan your ingress into the building or however you want to do it. You might need information. You can ask questions. You could do some information gathering, but try not to plan too much. So over to you, folks.
I mean, we can have whatever discussions between us. I'm happy to go with what everyone else thinks there, but I think it would be good if Jellybean goes home,
So do
sees
I.
if there's any encyclopedias or books that will probably reference horses, and
Okay.
see what her parents know about the area we're taking it to and horse care.
Okay. Well, you'll have to give me a roll, please, if you're going to be doing that sort of work. So in Blades of the Dark, the players determine what the role is and make an argument for that role. You'll roll number of d6 that you have it dots in. The number of dots equal the number of d6 you roll. You can always push yourself, which means you take 2 stress, or someone else can help you, or in this case, probably not, because you probably don't want Larkin around your parents' house. Someone else can help you and take 1 stress. Or you can always take a devil's bargain.
I could use consort, I think.
Okay.
Because they are my parents and I know them.
Yes.
So that's 2.
Okay. Roll your 2 then. And remember, 1, 2, 3 is a failure. 4, 5 is a success with a complication, and a 6 is an outright success. Okay, so we take the highest one, which is the 5. And it's your father that speaks to you and go, "Oh, why would you want to know about horses, Jellica? You know we don't have horses. We have goats. We let you ride goats. What is your obsession with these obsolete animals?" Ugh.
Well,
Well.
Father, I'm not obsessed with them, but I don't know much about them. And the stable hand was talking about horses and that they were a little different from goats. And I want to know if they're better than goats.
Well, I will have to go and talk to the stable hand and have a word with him about talking to my daughter. That should not be allowed. You shouldn't be talking with people like that. I don't want you talking
Well,
with.
he wasn't really talking to me. You know, they were talking.
They shouldn't be talking at all. I don't pay them to talk. I pay them to brush goats. Look, I'll tell you what I know about horses and horse care and show you bits of my library you've probably never seen before because they're high shelves and you're only small. And what he does is he leads you into his library and shows you some books on horses and horse care, which you're welcome to take at any time and use for reference in the future.
Thank you.
You will, if you need to refer to them later on, you can refer to them in a flashback. You will take less stress in doing so. Whilst that's going on, let's go to either Grimlyn or Vixen. Is there anything you two would like to do in preparation for this job? Any information you'd like to gather? Anything you'd like to do?
You go first, Grimlyn.
I think Grimlyn would like to look at the maps to see where the factory is.
Yep.
Try and work out where the workers might live in relation to that.
Okay.
Maybe kind of pubs or kind of places that they might go to kind of commiserate in the horror that is the factory worker's life. So that if we need to get information or to try and persuade one of them to let us in, we kind of have a good in and knowledge of
Cool.
kind of where to find them.
That sounds like a great idea. Can you give me a roll for it, please? What would you like to use?
I don't really have anything good for intelligence gathering, so this is a bit. I guess it's probably more of is it a study or a survey type skill, isn't it? Which
Yes.
I don't have anything. What I might do is ask Vixen if she can look at the maps with me and see what she thinks and get her opinion.
Brilliant.
Okay. I think Vixen will be more than happy to help with Grimlyn.
So, what would you like to roll? Choose. Well, you get to choose Vixen. What would you like to roll?
I
Grimlyn
think
has just put this all on you.
Sorry.
so we're following around the workers and finding the favourite sort of places. Sounds like hunt, following target.
You can go. Yes, going out into the world and doing it. That's
Okay.
yes. That is very good. So, roll me your hunt, please.
Can only hope.
Oh,
Ooh.
we've got a 5 and a 6. So that is a success with no complication, which is very good. So on a 6, the workers all live in a tenement, or a lot of them seem to live in a tenement. Tenement looks like it's an old kind of fallen into disrepair estate house. It looks like it is the Vedat estate. That's Vedat, Vedat estate. They also seem to drink at two pubs. One is called the Sticky Pole, and the other is called the Unhappy Mouse. Those seem to be places that they frequent. Now, remember, when we go to the plan, you can use maybe social or something like that to get you into the factory. The methods of ingress are... So when we go to the engagement role, you need to tell me whether it is an assault plan, which is doing violence to a target, so telling me the point of attack. Deception, which is luring, tricking, or manipulating, so the method of deception. Stealth, trespass unseen, which I need to know the point of infiltration. Occult, which is engaging a supernatural power. You need to tell me the arcane method. Social, negotiate, bargain, or persuade. You need to tell me the social connection. Or transport, carry cargo or people through danger. And I need the route and means. By telling me that, that'll get you that first point into the factory for the action to begin. So that's kind of where we'll go with that one. So you've got a good idea of where the workers go and things like that. Just before we go to the engagement role, Larkin, is there anything you'd like to do?
Under the table where the maps are at the moment, trying to pull the rug from underneath it. It's quite shaggy. I think it could be used to hide the horse.
Wonderful. We're not gonna. I'm not
Can
gonna make
you move the table. Just one moment. I know it's important what you're doing, but I just need the rug.
Sark just kind of says, "Bear do I?" He says, "He's when he's thinking, he's got something going on, and he's normally right." So we kind of, Sark, as both of you are looking at this map, planning where you're going to go, Sark lifts the table up with both of his arms and just lets you take the rug out from underneath. Again, we won't go to that quite yet, but what we'll do is we'll start doing the engagement role. So we'll get you right there into the action. So to describe what you know about the factory is a sort of 3-story affair, which looks like it's got a large warehouse area. The ingress into the factory that you know of, there are windows at the top, which looks like you might be able to get in there, or along the roof of the building. There are skylight windows. There is a large walled yard with a high wall, which is where the carriages come in and go out. taking the goods by goat carriage down to trains. The building also has a large set of staff doors for workers to come in and exit. There is also one more entrance, which looks like the owner's entrance. So that they don't have to, that's on the far side from where the staff entrance is. So that's kind of what the factory is. It looks like it's quite well maintained and well, not defended, but it does look like there are protections there of some sort. There are people that kind of stand on the staff doors, bouncers of sorts. And same with the yard. The wall around the yard looks like it's fairly well maintained. There are a few cracks in it, but yeah, this place does a lot of business still from Six Towers, and it's not often that happens. So, what do you want to do for your engagement role, folks? As I said, you have the different plans: assault, deception, stealth, occult, social, and transport. Discuss.
I think given the legwork, sort of deception seems appropriate, going in with the workers either as a new hire or something along those lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I was only thinking like maybe transport with it's if we brought a box with us, but that could be pulled in somehow if we pretended to be workers that were doing something with the goats that they have on site there, maybe.
Do we think if they're transporting stuff to the trains that the things that they're using to transport are they covered, as in like a sort of wooden sort of truck that we might be able to obfuscate a horse in?
they are what they're carrying to the trains are large in sort of large containers. Basically, imagine a Victorian steel container from a container ship. It's on the back of a cart. It's sort of a big box, metal box, no windows, no air holes, nothing like that, but just like a big metal box. A horse would fit in that, especially a young horse.
But it would die.
But it would die, yeah. Well, I mean, you know from reading your books now that horses need air.
God.
How inconvenient.
But we could take some kind of equipment to drill holes potentially.
Well, that would be in your boxes of load.
Mm.
So, and so remember, you have boxes of load, which we'll do in a moment, where your load is transient based on how you want to go. You also have flashbacks. So you don't need to do all your planning now because you can flash back mid-game. So you've mentioned wanting to do deception as your method of ingress. So what's your method of deception? Who's going to do the deceiving? What are you going to do?
Okay, so if we can get our hands on one of these sort of cargo carriages, we'll go in, have some drinks with the workers, perhaps the night before, and ask them to show us the ropes and try to go in with them and talk our way through.
Brilliant.
Try it with.
Okay. Well, so you don't have to roll for this one because this is one of the only rolls I get to do, really. So we'll go to the engagement roll, then we'll do item loadout. So you get 1d6 for sheer luck. We then have to look at, is this operation particularly bold or daring?
I would say it's fairly. We're just walking in completely bold-faced lies.
Okay, yep, I'll accept that. That's an extra d6 then. Does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest? Well, this is their factory. This is probably where they're strongest.
But they have a vulnerability that they have a lot of workers that they won't know.
Okay, I like that.
You may also be able to push a weakness that their workers may be disgruntled if they're not well paid or looked after. So they may positively actually help us or obfuscate on our behalf if we can persuade them well enough.
That sounds good. I like that.
Especially if they know that there's a horse there. They'll see. They might be like, want in on the cut or something.
Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation?
Well, only what I've tapped my dad up for. He's not like aiding me per se, but
No, but he's giving you stuff. But then can anyone interfere with the operation? Well, we know about Satara.
Mhm.
So we'll take that off.
So can I just go back to the helping?
Yes.
Because I just wondered whether my apothecary friend might be able to give us some idea, even though they deal with people, of a way to kind of calm the horse down
Okay.
so that it could be more compliant.
I mean, it's a
Hmm.
question. Does Duskfall have separate vet chemists? Like, would the apothecary treat the
The
ghosts?
apothecary would know, but I would hold on to that for maybe a flashback later,
Okay.
or maybe a box of load.
Okay.
But it's a very good question, and we can answer that in a flashback.
Okay.
So, are there any other elements you want to consider? Well, I think you are currently at 3d6, and that's a fairly good amount of dice to roll for the engagement roll. So let's see how you do. That's not great. 2 3s and a 2. Same rules apply here, unfortunately.
You rolling for us is not fair. Your rolls are terrible.
Well, unfortunately, I did. So you hit up the workers. The workers are more than happy to talk to you, especially if some coppers and things are spent to lubricate the wheels, as it were.
Cute, right? So
Eventually, you ask to see one of the boxes. You ask to go in, and you know, they say, well, you know, if you want to come in with us, you know, well, we go in these boxes and they transport us in. Why don't you get in that one there and you know, well, come in with us for the next shift. Yeah, come in with us for the next shift. Get in the box. So they load you into these big sort of one of those container boxes that I've been talking about. They seem to use them to transport people in and out from the tenements, to try and keep people safe and secure. Because as you're walking around, as you're sort of moving down towards Six Towers, you do notice that the fog gets very thick the closer you get to Six Towers. And in Six Towers itself, it's very, very misty. You see shapes moving in the darkness. You hear whispers. You hear the distant toll of bells, but coming from a place where you know there's no tower. You're shut into one of these metal boxes, the doors clanging. You hear the sound of someone saying, "Get up!" And the whole box starts moving on top of a cart as you get taken into this warehouse. The whole box clangs, rolls from one side to another. And finally, there's a large thud, and you all are shaken momentarily. There are a few other workers in this box. One of them goes to open the container. It's stuck. It's bloody stuck. We're stuck in here. Oh, I knew it was bad luck to let outsiders in. We're stuck in here and it's your fault. God.
Why don't we just all take a deep breath and go and let me have a look at the door?
not too deep breath.
Brilliant. So, the door is sort of a pair of metal doors that are shut, and it looks like, it just looks like they're kind of not welded shut, but wedged shut. They're just stuck. They won't move.
Okay. Grimlyn will probably pull a few fine tools from the back of her hat that kind of probably look like a hat pin but aren't,
Okay.
and see what she can do to try and jimmy the lock.
Okay, so that brings me on to a good one. I missed it again. Boxes of load. So just quickly go around everyone and see what load you're taking. Light, medium, heavy. Grimlyn, what are you taking?
I'm going medium.
Medium, okay. And Vixen?
I think Vixen's going to go light.
Light. Jellybean?
Medium.
Medium. And Larkin.
This bloody rug is really heavy.
Okay, you're going heavy then. Brilliant. And yes, Larkin, you are really bulky, and a
I'm
few
just
people
looking
are few people are looking at you like, what was he?
I think
What's
I've
he
actually,
doing?
the rug's so big, I've just got it kind of over my shoulder.
Okay. So Grimlyn, you were taking some tools out and using them. So please tick off a box of load.
Okay.
If you've got tools, if you haven't, don't worry. It's just a box of load that goes.
Yep.
And can you tell me what role you want to make, please?
I think I'd like to use a tinker roll,
Brilliant.
because I'm assuming it's some kind of locking mechanism or shutting
Yep.
mechanism, and I don't necessarily want to break it, particularly if we might want to use this on the way out.
Okay. Yep. Wonderful.
So I will.
roll your tinker, please.
Let's see.
Because you're using your tools, you've got a greater effect. That's really good. So 5 means that there is a complication, though. But to start with, you use your tools. You manage to basically jimmy the door open, and the door's open with a loud creak. You find yourself inside the yard. There's lots of these other containers all around. You see the doors are open. You see workers trudging into the main warehouse area. But what I am going to do is the workers that are in there with you stream past you and go, oh, bloody outsiders knew we shouldn't have brought them in. I'm going to start a clock, and the clock is discovered. The clock has 8 segments. When I fill in the 8th segment, you will be discovered. That doesn't mean that doesn't mean anything's over. It just means that things get interesting. So I've started the discovered clock. But you're standing in this yard, the large gate that normally allows these goat-led carts with these big boxes on the back. The goats have been taken somewhere already, and these boxes have already been unloaded. Hence why there was a large rattling and things. So you can see large crane equipment here as well that's used to get these boxes onto and off of the carts. There's a lot of heavy industrial equipment here, chains everywhere, large sort of gears sticking out of the floor and mechanics to move these cranes around. So, as I said, everyone's trudging into the loading dock at the moment to get in. What do you want to do?
Well, they said the horses was in the stable. Are we going to just straight ahead there?
Did the maps show us where the stables were inside?
No, the map only shows you from kind of the outside view. So you don't have a map of the warehouse itself, unless you have some way of getting a map of the warehouse itself, which, again, remember, you have flashbacks.
Did you say that they were taking the goats away? Are they taking the goats to the stables? Or
The goats have already been taken.
been
So
taken?
You didn't get to see it though.
No.
Barkin, can you smell animals as well as spirits?
Well, I think we all can smell animals, but I guess you're right.
From a distance.
I'll go around the front and see if there's any sort of obvious sort of dung or anything that has been left. I'm assuming the floor is maybe cobblestone, so it's not mud, so it's not going to particularly be tracks or anything.
No.
But generally, I'll have just a sniff and a look and see if there's anything obvious first and foremost.
So What would you like to use?
My eyes.
Okay.
I'm just literally at the moment.
Just looking.
I'm, I mean,
Hmm.
what? Sorry, I'm not being awkward. What can I see when we move around?
Yeah.
front?
So when you're moving around the front, so it's a large cobbled area. The cobbles are not big. They are sort of only about kind of that big.
Yeah.
There is a large set of double doors. The double doors lead into a sort of large manufacturing area. You can see the manufacturing area is sort of the main warehouse area. It takes the full height of the building. You see lots of conveyor belts. You see people standing at stations. You see various bits of machinery moving things from one conveyor belt to another. You see pathways through there. If you wanted to try and see, so you can't see an obvious route to a stable, and you can't see a stable in there. You can see at the far end of the warehouse from where I am, there are offices, and you can see there are large sort of sets of doors off. This is quite a large building.
Yeah.
So but if you want to try and see if you can see goatee things, you will have to give me a roll for it.
So is studying books, or is it studying environments?
It can be studying environments as well if you want.
I'll do a study then. I'm not
Brilliant.
too bad at that. I've got two dice.
Yeah, give me a study roll. Roll some dice. 5, that's good. You see on the cobblestones a trail of goat poo. But of course they're goats. You obviously use your your Larkinness to sort of sniff. You can smell them, you can see them, you can see a trail leading into the warehouse and sort of through. It looks like the goats have been led through a pathway through the warehouse between some of the workers. For the complication, though, you hear a whispering. It's quiet at this moment, but it's just in the back of your head. You hear this whispering. You can't quite make out the words, but it's just there in the background.
I start rocking backwards and forwards and sort of not nervously, but it's kind of like a nervous tick, sort of looking around, seeing if I can hone onto it. Whilst I do this, I scoop up a huge pile of goat dung and slip it into one of my big pockets.
Brilliant, I think.
And then I just wipe the rest of it down on my coat. Clean hands now. I'm all good.
But you can see this trail of goat poo leading inside. So
I think this way, and to where they're leading the goats. If they've taken them to the stables, which I would assume they are, that's where we've been told the horses.
Seems logical. Let's have a look.
Brilliant. What are you going to do with Jellybean?
What do you mean?
Well, I look at my carpet.
Are you saying they don't have child labour in Duskfall?
They do have child labour in Duskfall. They just don't normally look like you.
Well, I'm not wearing the nice outfit.
They don't look like Veruca Salt.
That is a bit good.
I mean, you can walk just straight. You could. How do you want to approach getting through the warehouse? I guess that's the better question.
Why don't you, depending on what you've decided to clothe yourself as, Jelly? I mean, if you're looking important, then sometimes people just won't question you. Not the workers, anyway. If you want to be hoity-toity. Otherwise, I've got a pocket full of dung.
I'll pass.
I guess hoity-toity it is then.
Hoity-toity it is then, yeah. All right.
Or we can just kind of muddy you up a little bit so that you look pretty much on par with the other workers, and you can pretend to be one of our children, nephews, nieces. You know,
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I was going to say either we could go the managerial route and pretend like I'm the boss's kid who's on a visit work day or whatever while Daddy's doing the accounts, or yeah, we
Your
found an outfit
choice.
that fit me vaguely and blend in with everybody else. I don't really mind. I don't know if there's
Oh, by the way, this you probably know this anyway, but this place has got some geists. One of them's trying to talk to me.
Oh, is it helpful, unhelpful?
Don't know yet. I need to speak up. I said, speak up. But
Yeah, speak up, ghosts. You can't
Yeah.
hear you.
I mean, I could just let myself go and let it take over me if you want.
No, I'll blend in with the others because it's then I won't be as recognisable when we leave. You know.
Brilliant. So, what are you going to do? Someone can either help with this, someone can do it to you, or you can do it to yourself. What does anyone have? You can work as a party, whatever you want to do.
Well, let's say, and you might want this as a flashback. It depends how much everyone else has had to prepare an
You
outfit.
could do as a flashback.
But if I like yoink something from the stables at home,
Okay.
sort of cut it down to be a bit small in the leg at least.
So yes, brilliant. Make me a roll. You need to decide what skill you want to use to nab this from the stables.
Well, I don't have a lot of nabbing. Well, I could use prowl for nabbing, or I could potentially use finesse to steal it dexterously and amend it as required.
And amend it. Brilliant. Finesse is fine. Yeah.
Okay, slightly better for me.
You only make one roll really for these things in Blades in the Dark.
Yeah. That's crap anyway. But...
Yeah. So yes, unfortunately,
look, it looks massive, but still.
Yeah. Well, this is a failure, unfortunately. And the way you failed is that somehow, with your skills, you have made this a nicer outfit than the one you were wearing before.
Oh,
okay. You've worked at it and worked at it and worked at it, and you've gone, yes, this looks amazing. And it is like, yeah, it's like
clean.
Okay.
Yes, you've turned a Hessian sack into a Chanel dress.
Like so.
But we don't know this, do we? Because
no.
Yeah.
You see Jellybean looking like Jellybean. So
right, slightly more muted colours and stuff.
Yeah,
like
and you take one stress as well, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so is there anything anyone else would like to do before you go in? Vixen, is there anything you'd like to do? Oh, you're muted. I can't hear you anyway. There we go.
Okay, good. Right. I was thinking of just sort of as we go through loudly. I'm not sure what the correct word is, but making sure I'm keeping control of Jellybean and don't wander off. And
okay. Yes. So I'm not going to make you roll for that one because I think probably know Jellybean by now well enough. And that's a very good idea. A very, very good idea. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll. I get to occasionally roll a d6, and this is just going to see how well the workers react to it. Yeah, the workers are just eyes down. So I'm assuming you start to move through the factory, and the workers are all eyes down. As you're corralling this person, it is actually going exactly like you said earlier with the boss's kid. Vixen, you are corralling Jellybean, But people are just like, no, don't look at them. Don't look at them. Don't talk to them. Don't look at them. Don't talk to them. Someone drops a spanner in front of you and they immediately pick it up and take it away. Oh, sorry, Your Honor. Sorry, Your Honor. They've assumed that she's some kind of big deal.
Do I pick up on this vibe?
Yeah, of course you do. Well, no, would you? Actually, would you pick up on this?
I don't know. I guess would I wouldn't notice maybe they're being different to people are normally. Would you if people normally, you have agency here, if people normally treat you that way? I mean, they do normally treat me that way. I guess it's that I make the connection that these factory workers are still treating me that way. If you see what I mean.
That's up to you.
I mean, I guess I would notice because I've made this outfit.
Right, yes.
Blend in.
And
it's very annoying that I'm being treated like normal.
Yes. And Grimlyn, you definitely noticed that they're treating this way. They're treating you all this way.
Okay.
Ridiculous. I look like a peasant and they're still not even doing it right.
Well, you're clearly not. Just lean into it.
You, where are the goats?
One of the workers kind of drops his spanners again and they go everywhere. Like, the goats, where are the goats? He kind of shakily points. Oh, they're over there. And you see a large sort of set of double doors where the doors are currently slightly open. And it just says above the door, stable. They're over there, madam.
Good.
Sorry, madam. Wishing you all a good day. Good day. Good day. He kind of turns around and starts to pick up the spanners nervously.
Jellybean, what have I told you about speaking to the workers?
Grimlyn said to just do the usual, and so they might as well be useful.
At this point, Grimlyn pulls out a very small, slightly tatty-looking notebook as if she's making notes of who the worker
is. He's putting the spanners back immediately. He's looking a bit scared. But a lot of the other workers are just kind of carrying on with their work and like not looking. You see occasionally someone will go, should I go help? No, don't help. Don't help him. He's for it now. Foreman will find out. Oh, don't. Whilst you're walking through as well, and as you get closer to the stables, you see on the back wall of this warehouse, you start to hear a ticking, and you only really start to hear it when you get more towards the back. But it seemed like this ticking of this giant clock on the wall is synchronized with all the machinery. And as you start to see it, you start to realize that people are kind of moving in sync with this ticking as it's. And their actions and their movements on all these machines are starting to sync up. But in front of you is the door to stables. Larkin, you can still hear. It's getting louder though. The closer you get to the stables, the louder this noise gets in your head. It's starting to sound a bit like a roaring gale.
I've got one of my heads coming and gone. I might need to try and do something about this.
Do you need a biscuit?
Yeah, I'll have a biscuit. You got a biscuit? I'll have a biscuit.
Probably do bring biscuits for this kind of thing. They're dog biscuits, though.
Yeah, and what's wrong with that?
Well, that's what Jellybean thinks you would
We all
think.
like
So
meaty
she brought you
biscuits,
dog
don't we?
biscuits.
Meaty biscuits.
Take off a box of load for dog biscuits then.
Yeah.
This is a Barkin snack.
Yeah, you got a Barkin snack. In front of you is this door.
Sorry, with that, if it's if it's affecting me, I would like to attempt to try and do something. If
Okay.
that's sensible.
Yes.
I have warned everybody else.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you want to stay around or sneak into this whilst I'm going to try and, I think, is it a tune? Is that the thing that I'm looking for?
It is a tune, yes, if that's the one you want to use. So, what
makes
do you want to do
sense.
to this?
Keep watch on you while
I'm
you
going
do
to try and tune it so that the words are clearer and that I can kind of sense motivation, sense what we're facing. I believe there's kind of human geists, but there's quite terrible, nightmarish, non-human geists as well. And this is the towers. So I've got 2 in a tune.
Brilliant. Roll me your dots.
Okay, that's
The-
for bad.
Yeah. It's bad enough that, unfortunately, involuntarily, Larkin lets out a scream. I'm going to fill in one of the clocks for one of the sections of the clock for discovered, as people look over at you and then go back to looking again. But it's quite a disturbance.
Can
And
can Jellybean react to that?
you can indeed, yeah.
Okay. So if Larkin gives out this scream, act like I'm sort of hitting him.
Okay.
Stupid.
You're going to have to give me a roll to see how convincing you are there, though.
Okay. Sway?
Yep, give me a sway roll then, please. Remember, you can always push yourself, which is you take 2 stress, or someone else can help in the action. They can take 1 stress and you get an extra d6. Or you can do a group action, which means you all get to hit him.
I mean, it's more fun. I guess it doesn't lean into the deception as well.
No.
I think Grimlyn would probably try to lean into the deception, not by hitting him, but probably by sort of trying to go, not in public, kind of trying to persuade her like this is not appropriate, and kind of then immediately turn around and look all the people who may have turned around to give them a really hard stare as if to say you saw nothing.
Okay. I like that. That gives you an extra d6, yes, and you take 1 stress, Grimlyn.
Yeah.
All right, see if that helps, hopefully.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Oh,
that's good. A 5's good. So, yeah, there is a complication, though, again. But people do start going back to looking away again, and you've done a really good job at doing that. So I'm not going to fill another segment of clock, but I am going to add 1 heat. So you've currently generated 1 heat from this operation. But Larkin, in your head, this roaring, it unfortunately just gets louder with every step towards this stables. It's getting louder and louder, and you just can't hear what it's saying at all. But the stables are in front of you. It's not stopping you from moving. It's really distracting you now.
Are you all right, Larkin? Do you need to stay here?
I mean, things are going to get real bad real fast.
Is it going to be worse if you come or if you don't come?
You mean, should I stay
So
or
you need
should
to
I
protect
go?
us from the ghosts, or do you need to stay here so you don't go mad, is what I'm saying.
I guess we'll find out.
What if you come in?
I haven't brought this rug all this way not to come in.
That's true, and I don't want to carry it. So. It is bigger than I am.
Oh, well, you'll fit in it. We could try if you want. I'll roll you up.
You can try.
I'm finding it difficult hearing this thing is. And then I just shout at her. It's like that. As I just it's in my head, and I just keep shouting at you. That's what it's like all of the time.
Yes. You all bundle into the stables. And in front is a series of stalls. You see water troughs, you see hay everywhere. You see the large goats all quite happily munching away. You
Okay.
see an empty stall. And the moment you step inside, Larkin, the voice goes quiet. And you just hear, help me. That's in your head, Larkin.
The shouting has stopped. It's
Well, good.
asking for help. I
It was
think.
the horse.
Not the horse whisperer, no, the Geist. I mean, it might be a dead horse that somehow can speak, but unlikely.
Good.
I don't know.
Well, we have done some
I mean,
before, I suppose.
horses are the ones with the horns on their head, aren't they? The single horns.
Not according to this picture book. They don't have the horn.
I'm sure I heard stories about horses with horns.
No. There might be some, but I don't think a regular horse has one.
Right. Okay. Anyway, he wants help, not the horse. Well, I don't know. I try to focus and I ask, "Are you a horse?"
Okay, so you focus, and the voice comes back. Help me. Exactly the same as it did before. Exactly the same. It seems to be coming from the stall, the empty stall. There's no horse in here, but there is an empty stall.
I'm focusing. It's this stall here. Do you want me to go and have a look? It's just repeating itself at the moment.
Yeah, see if there's anything hidden in there, I guess, or any signs of
Right.
what the spirit could
Okay.
be.
This is really important. Who's up for a really important task? Come on,
What is it you need?
I need you to hold me a hat.
I'm not
I take my hat off. Who?
You should always look after someone's hat, so Grimlyn will put her hand out.
And I just stick my head in the water trough.
Okay. So
I come back up.
Yep.
And that has cooled me down now, allowing me to try and focus somewhat.
So what skill would you like to use? You've got attune, or you've got maybe compel, or what are your other skills? It's up to you.
I've got a special ability, compel.
Ooh.
I think you get that as a whisper because that's the special talent. But I think attune first as
okay.
What I want to. I like geists. I like spirits, and this one's asking for help. So there's no fear, even when there was the shouting in the head. There's no fear. It's more sort of interest. So I gently want to see if I can form some kind of conversation, I guess, first.
Brilliant.
Because I'm also aware that geists can be tricksy, and those that say can be. Sometimes have got ulterior motives.
Give me a
Tune.
Yeah, give me a attunement roll, please. And remember, you can push yourself to take 2 stress to take an extra d6, or someone else can take a stress to help you.
I'm going to push myself.
Okay, so take 2 stress, add an extra d6.
Stress has gone up by 2. Because it went so badly last time, I think it's probably a good idea. And yeah, it's gone equally as bad.
It has indeed. Oh dear. So yeah, this in this horse box, all you can hear in this empty stable, all you can hear is just this "help me," and it's a regular thing. The spirit doesn't seem interested in talking to you at all. It's a really weird thing. Yeah, you can't really get too much for it. And just as you're just as you're trying to communicate with this spirit, out of the corner of your eye, on the far wall of this empty sort of enclosure, you could swear on the wall for a moment you could see something looking at you, an open eye on the wall. And then when you look at it, it's just a trick of the light, maybe. And then you're alone.
This place is bad. It's not just here. The whole of this district, it's confusing. I hate to admit it, but I'm struggling. I'm going to need your help. We're all going to have to bleed. I'm joking.
Oh, shame.
All right, you're a strange child.
If I go in the stall, does anything happen?
If you go in the stall, do a roll. A fortune roll.
Horsey.
Yes. And it makes you jump. Because the moment you enter the stall, suddenly you don't quite understand this, and it's going to give you level 1 harm, spooked.
Okay.
Because ghosts are terrifying when you see them and you're not expecting them. They're absolutely terrifying. And what you see when you enter the stall is a man standing, grooming. Not quite sure what, but he's grooming a large animal. You can't see the animal, you can just see him. You can then see him turn, look to his left towards the entrance into this area, and then you see him put his hands up. You see him fall to the ground. You see him covering his head. You hear him go, "Help me." And then you see the body just go completely stiff. And then you see the spirit start to leave the body immediately. And then you see it start all over again. And it's disorientating. You can tell everyone else what you see if you want.
Larkin, did you see that? Oh.
No, what did you see? Tell me.
It's like he's just like replaying his death.
That's helpful. That's very helpful.
He's like, he's grooming and then like I don't know, he gets hit or something, and then he does that little help me, and then he just
maybe there's a little bit of a whisper in you after all.
Well,
no, that's helpful. Replaying.
Yeah, you know it as you know it as an echo. So there are different types of ghosts.
Yeah.
One type of ghost replays what happened to it at the end. It's not sentient. It won't have its own thoughts and feels. But there's something so violent happened here that it's left an imprint on this area. But it definitely, from the description, looked like he was brushing a horse.
Right. I could try something. Yeah, taking the horse, if that's what you saw. I'm going to ask you all, do you want me to try something risky?
Well, yes, I think.
Because this is an echo, because this is just the remnants, it's difficult for me to open up a conversation. There's a chance I might be able to compel it to I mean, ghosts don't really go to rest here, do they? But if released, they will go to the the soul-edging electric sort of traps, basically, the ghost
yes.
traps. But that's better than replaying over and over again on one is guessing.
Well, Vixen, it sounded like you might have had something to say.
All right, sorry, Vixen.
I'd like to try and hunt down this Colt and get out of here. I don't want to deal with any spirits that we don't absolutely have to.
I just think from what Jellybean witnessed, if he was grooming a horse and then was killed, sounds like someone's got here before us and stolen the horse. I'm hoping.
Did you get any clues from?
Well, that's what I'm hoping for.
Because I mean, I'm with Vixen. We want to just crack on, but like, yeah, if this ghost will help somehow see who killed it or see a bit more of what happened afterwards, maybe.
I could potentially try and hunt down the more physical clues, and if that doesn't work, we can try these spiritual ones, or we can both try and
Or at the
see
same
guess
time,
results.
depending on how risky you think it is, Barkin. But yes, there must be an actual body.
I have
somewhere.
great faith in Vixen. Let's do that then.
What
Okay.
decisions?
So it sounds like you want to do a hunt roll. Now, again, is anyone wanting to help you on this one? You can always do a group action where you all hunt, but any failures, you take stress equal to the number of failures. Or you can roll on your own.
I can
Awesome.
help, like look around for spots of blood or something.
Okay. Well, if you want to take one stress, Jellybean, you can give Vixen an extra D6.
Okay. Hopefully.
That's not bad. That's a 4. That's good. So,
just to make you aware, I have a scout trait. When gathering info to locate a target, I have +1 effect.
Oh, that's very good. That's very, very good. So, you are aware that there was a horse in here or something that wasn't a goat, because you are seeing different types of fur, different types of hair. You're seeing different types of leavings. And it's quite easy to see through some of the dust, dirt, and grime on the floor. It's quite easy to see through some of the things that have been caught that actually this horse has been led out of here and has been led back into the main area again. And you can kind of see it go, instead of towards the doors where you came in, you can see it's led out of the main doors and then goes to the right, sort of around the outside of the factory. Beyond that, you'd have to follow it. But you've got a really good sense of what you're following now, as you are following this thing, as you can sort of, if you want to go and follow it. So that's really, really good. Before you want to follow this, before you want to leave these stables, is there anything else you want to pick up from it? Is there anything anyone else wants to do? Grimlyn, is there anything you'd like to do?
No, I don't think so, because I think my only thing was that I would have just, as I was noting as we were going through, what kind of tools they had in case I needed to rob some for later use. But within the stables itself, I suppose if there's anything that looks like you could use it to harness a horse, Grimlyn having zero knowledge of how you actually harness a horse beyond kind of what you see them wearing when, goats and stuff.
Well, if you say like that, then we can look through the book and see if there's what kind of harnesses, what kind of food, and see if there's any of that around. Yep,
and that's a very good idea, Grimlyn, because you spot a harness for a horse. There are probably proper names for it. Leave them in the comments below. But
bridle, I don't know.
Yes, I grew up in a city. I don't know about horses. Cars, yes. Horses, no. So we get so you can see a saddle and reins for a horse, especially thanks to Jellybean bringing the book, and you can have that as a free thing on your load. So you've got a saddle now, but it means you'll be walking around with a saddle. But you have a saddle and the necessary. And it's very similar to saddling up a goat as well, because goats get ridden like that too. So brilliant. That's really, really
If we maybe
good.
just, if there's a blanket or something we can put over it while we
Yep.
carry it. So it's
There
less
are
damage.
blankets in here as well, so yep, you can obfuscate it. Saddle and blanket. Great. So I assume you proceed to follow the track that Vixen has found.
Happy to follow Vixen.
Something all occurs to you though as you move back out into the main room. Goes very quiet. The machines are still running. You can hear the lunks and credunks of lots of machinery turning and whirring. You are right underneath the giant clock, and it's making no noise. And every single person in this warehouse has stopped, frozen in place.
Why are they being creepy?
So they're not looking at us, they're literally just standing completely still.
They're frozen, not blinking, breathing, but just frozen in the last position that they were in, working.
Creepy.
Does apart from the size of the clock, is there anything that is unusual about it other than this incident that's happening? I'm happy to do a tinker roll from a distance.
Yeah, give me a tinker roll, please.
Bum, bum. I've got a 5 this time.
Yeah, you're looking up at it, and it definitely doesn't seem like a normal clock.
Is
It's
there anything coming from the clock? Any
Yeah,
wires or connections?
pipes. You can see pipes. I mean, normally you think it was large clockwork, but it seems to be there seems to be something powering it that's coming through large lead pipes. You do get that sort of sense tingling in the back of your head that there's something ethereal powering this clock. You know, the electricity, everyone knows the electricity is powered by Leviathan distillate plasma, and you know, it's there are lots of ghosts around, but here you don't quite often get electricity, certainly not on the scale you see in this factory. And you see these big pipes into the clock. And now with a 5, your complication is you see these big lead pipes everywhere, going into every machine, going all around.
This place, they seem to have harnessed perhaps the essence of the spirits around here. It may be why they are so at unrest but unable to do anything. But it is not our concern. Our concern is the horse.
Yeah, just make sure they don't do anything weird towards us. If they keep just standing there weirdly, then fine. But keep an eye out.
There seems to be something that is powering the machines, but it is also affecting the minds of the workers too. They are
Exactly. We don't know
akin
if they'll
to
suddenly
marionettes.
come after us or something.
Can I have my hat back now, please?
Of course.
I'll
And
show you
Grimlyn
the
often-
inside of it. It's kind of lined with some kind of thin sheet of metal. I'll put it back on.
So you hear the clock slowly start to resume its ticking. And people start to kind of slowly at first and then start moving things around. And then occasionally you hear the odd, nearly lunchtime. Shh, we're not supposed to talk. And they become people again. And no one's really paying you too much attention walking around the side, following this trail that Vixen's found. You see it moves around until eventually it leads to a nondescript door. It's in the side of the warehouse, near where some of the offices are. It looks like it would be big enough for a horse to fit through.
Well, this is where the trail has led us, has it not, Vixen?
Indeed it is.
So, onward then, I guess. Onward.
Wonderful. So the door opens, there's no locks or anything on it, and you see a ramp going down. The ramp goes down, sort of flattens out, and then turns left, and then goes down, flattens out, turns left, goes down. Looks like it goes down a good goes down to the basement level. A good way down. So, but it's when you get, if you start going down there, you start to hear voices.
Is this actual voices or?
Actual, you all hear them.
Perfect.
You hear two people saying, why are we on guard duty? Well, it's because everyone else is busy. Well, what are they doing? Oh, well, it's best you don't know. Don't think about it. All right. We're not expecting anyone to come down here, though. The workers are all up there. Don't worry about it. Just keep your mind ahead. So you suspect, as you've kind of gone down a few of these ramps, you suspect that they're at the entrance to whatever the sort of the basement area is ahead of you. They can't see you at the moment, but you can hear them talking.
No, we need to get past them. Whatever they are doing with this horse, maybe they are going to cause it to transform and make a horn grow from its head.
Would that make it more or less valuable?
More valuable, I
Increase
guess. The
rarity, I think.
more horse you have, the more valuable it is. So it works, isn't it? I don't know, but they're going to do something to it. I mean, they might be wanting to kill it. Maybe the whole of this factory runs on horses, or maybe that's why they call it horsepower.
Do they? I thought they call it goat power.
Well, they do, but now it's horsepower, you see. Different type of... I don't know, but if we want to steal the horse, if we want to get it back, we've got to go past these.
Well, I could try and go and just tell them to get out of the way.
Yeah, you could do that. Do we have any other ideas?
I could stab them.
You could do that as well. But we don't want to kill people because that causes even...
I know, it's very tedious.
Well, it usually causes such issues. However, with how the spirits are reacting in here, it may be safer. But perhaps not our first option.
We could try and persuade them that we've come to relieve them of duty. If they're that bored, they might be glad.
Rightio then. Well, the child's going to be no good. They're not going to believe that she's come to relieve them of duty.
As an aside, though, my special talent is that if I sway someone, I can make them forget it's happened until they meet me again. So it is quite handy sometimes to.
Okay, maybe we can pretend that you are a young adult.
I'm just short.
Maybe you've been given permission to have a special visitation.
Ooh, that's quite a good idea.
Mm.
You could flash the saddle or whatever.
Yeah, I'm here to visit the house.
Okay, well, some of you talkers need to go first. If things go really bad, I'll just I'll use the dung.
I mean, we combine it and say I'm here to visit the horsey, and my retinue are relieving you while it happens, so that they've got a bit of
Okay.
incentive.
Okay, I'm going to need someone to declare a roll for this one. Who wants to roll? Do you want to do a group action? If multiple of you want to try and sway, but again, whoever leads the action will take stress.
Yeah,
What do
so
you
I
wanna
mean,
do?
I'll do this way hopefully to get the benefit of the mesmerism, but I'm happy to have it be a group action and I lead it potentially.
Yeah,
I have some sway, so I'm happy to pitch in.
great.
Okay.
What about you, Vixen? Are you going to have a go as well, sway?
Yep. I'll
I think Vixen has said yeah.
Yep, brilliant.
I'm not sure how it works.
Larkin, you don't have to join.
And I mean, I'm not going to be any use. I'm more of a hindrance.
So I'd like you to all roll sway, except for Larkin, and you will take stress equal to the number of failures. A failure obviously is for each person. So I will be looking out to see what everyone gets. That's a 6. Oh, brilliant. A 1 from Grimlyn. And a 4. So the height.
I should have just stayed quiet.
You take 1 stress, Jellybean, but you have a 6, which is a great success. You are in a risky position though. So, but with the 3 of you, with the plan you've made, you go around the corner and you see these 2 guards. They're one's quite sort of a thin man, and the other one's sort of quite a short lady. And they're looking at each other, and they look at you, and they're like, the lady goes, "Well, what are you doing here? What do you want?"
Well, I'm here to see the horse, of course.
Oh,
And,
right, yeah.
So these, whatever you call them, assistants, they're here to relieve you while I have my visit.
They're 2 people guarding the door. They're just dressed in normal clothes. They look at both of you, Vixen and Grimlyn, and they go, "Right, well, I guess we're off then. Okay, just well, except for this young lady, make sure that no one else goes through the door because some of the well, you know how it is. Some of the toffs are busy in there doing whatever they do, singing, chanting, usual stuff."
Yes.
One of the male sidles up to you, Grimlyn, and says, "Just so you know, it's probably not a great place for a child in there. I mean, no, the horsey beast's in there, but well, there's just a lot of blood in there. Just be careful. Be ready to put your fingers in front of her eyes to shield her. Just
Make sure she doesn't slip, that kind of thing.
Yeah, be not very good to get that pretty dress of hers. A very pretty dress of hers. Get it dirty on that blood. Anyway, we're off. Oh, right, up to the tea room. Come on, then, you. And the sort of lady, the short lady, goes, "Oh, well, all right then, but you're paying this time." And they're both happily walking up the ramp up to the top. Well done.
What did he say to you, Grimlyn? I didn't hear.
I think he was just trying to think that you perhaps were a little bit delicate and would be not all right with there being blood on the floor.
Why will they be? Is they saying there is blood in there?
I think so, yes.
Are they hurting?
But their main concern seemed to be about your dress. So it's fine. But yes.
Maybe this is where your spirits are, Barkin.
Mm.
Well, as long as the horse is there.
It's
Oh.
a difficult one. Sounds very much like they're doing some bad things, perhaps. I don't know. It's a secret society. Perhaps the owner of the factory is using this to, to do power his machines and control his workers. We're here for the horse, though. The problem is they've got the horse in that room, and if there's lots of blood, it's either theirs or the horse's.
Well, or some other randoms they bring in to murder for spirits.
All right. So, what do we do? We've got this door. It's worked so far, but we've got a whole load of knobs in there.
They might be busy ritualing.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not going to notice us steal the horse from under their noses.
Well, you put the rug on it, and then they'll think it's just a goat.
Yeah. Well, you'd be surprised. It's going to real work.
So, do you open the door?
Before we open the door, can I see whether or not I can look at the mechanism, see if there's a lock on the door? What I want to do is try and make it so that it's basically locked, but we can have a quick release mechanism if we need to leave quickly.
Okay. Yes, there is a lock on the door. It's a sliding door. It's a set of sliding doors that slide apart, sort of like that. Yes, can you give me a roll, please?
I think Vixen would like to help Grimlyn with that.
Brilliant. Take 1 stress, Vixen, and get an extra D6, Grimlyn.
Let's hope these dice like me more than the rest today.
Oh, a 6. Brilliant.
Winning at life.
That's amazing. So the two of you, Vixen and Grimlyn, you work on this lock, and you essentially get it so that you can have it quick release and lock behind you when you go, or whenever you need it locked. That's wonderful. And in doing so, you can slide the doors open a little bit, and you can see beyond the basement, dimly lit by candles. Rows of shelves with bizarre artifacts, skulls, jars with things in them, old tomes and strange curios line the outside of this large chamber. In the center of the chamber, you see 3 people standing. They are wearing robes, and they have hoods covering their heads, not revealing their faces. In the center of a circle drawn on the ground, you see a large animal that, if the person that had drawn the horse had been described what a horse was, that's what it would be. The pictures are a little off in your book. They've got the neck a little too short and the legs a little too long, but that's a horse. Oh, that's a horse. The 3 people in it doesn't have a horn, unfortunately. And where you are at the moment, you don't have the door open fully. You can sort of see this. The chamber is really dark, though. As is this corridor you're in right now. You could easily slip in and hide behind some of the shelving units. And as you do, you hear one of the people in robes say, "We provide this horse for you so that you can be summoned and guide us. Guide us, Setara, guide us in this life. And we are going to take a 5-minute break. So,
Brilliant.
in 5 minutes, we'll be back. And yes, we'll resume the adventure.
Barkin swears at that point. Okay, can't wait to see what happens next. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, before we left for a quick break, the group had just found themselves in a basement room with lots of shelving around them with lots of curios and things, and 3 robed figures with a horse in between them. And they were offering this horse to Setara. So that is where we resume. The figures are currently very absorbed in what they're doing. 2 of the figures are chanting. Hoods pulled down low so they can't see, and you can't really see their faces. And the other one has their back to you, the one that's been chanting. So you can't actually see who what their face is either, and they can't see you. But you can see
Give
this
the
horse.
to some god. We need it.
More than that, our paths have crossed numerous times. We've never really seen eye to eye.
The Setara.
Yeah. I mean, this is very bad. I mean, I can't explain how messed up this is. And if I did, it's even more messed up than how I would have described it. We need to stop this right now.
Before.
Okay. How about we kill the horse before they can sacrifice it too?
No, we need the horse.
Only if you pay us the 6
Let's get it
coin.
out the circle, I guess. That'd be.
Oh
Isn't that how
wow!
these things
We soon suddenly we see where everybody stands, don't we? In these moments. Fair enough.
Let's try to incapacitate these people so that we can get the horse out of the room. Is the horse standing, by the way? Or is
The
it?
horse is standing, yes. The horse is standing, looking a bit confused, like.
Is it secured with anything?
It has been. There's like an iron ring in the floor, and it's got just kind of. They've put a rope around the neck and tied it around the iron ring. It just looks a bit confused right now.
I could lure it with these treats, but it's attached to the floor.
Can I reach out and see if there are any restless spirits in here, if they have sacrificed other things in the past, and see whether there's any remnants of these?
Okay, what role are you going to give me?
I want to have a devil's bargain.
You want a devil's bargain?
Yeah,
Yes.
This is all in. This is
right. So I will let you have an extra dice. But whatever you summon, whatever you manage to speak to, whether you are successful or not, something will stay with you forever.
I mean, I'm not seeing any downsides to this at the moment. Perhaps you want to. I'm only joking. Okay. Yeah, I say I want a devil's bargain.
Brilliant.
You could have said anything. On top of that, I also want. What's the other thing? I can stress myself out as well.
You can push yourself. Yep, that takes 2 stress and gets an extra d6. So you're going to do both devil's bargain and pushing yourself. Ooh,
I believe you can do that, can't you? So that puts me up to 4 stress now.
Yes.
And I believe if we're using a tune, that is 4 dice.
Let's hope this is good. I really hope it's good.
It's going to be interesting, whatever happens.
You got a 6. I see a 6 there.
I've got a 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's a straight as well.
Yep. Well, unfortunately, we're not playing Yahtzee. Some days I wish we were, but no, a 6 is fantastic. So a spirit materializes. You reach yourself out into the ether, and a spirit latches onto you. And it says, "My name is Adric Haig. Adric Haig, Adric.
Mhm.
I sense you are a spirit caller. I am lost. I am lost. You can have a conversation with it in your head. You don't have to speak out loud to it, so you can ask it questions should you
I
wish.
shall sort of whisper. Ah, I can show you the light. You stay with me, for I have a bargain to put. You have seen this before, yes? You reside here.
Yes.
Did they do
Yes.
this to you, or is it
They-
just are you an old spirit?
They did this to me. They are trying to summon beings from beyond.
Is this the first time they've tried to summon this one?
Yes. For me, they tried to summon she who dwells in twilight. You know that to be one of the forgotten gods.
We need to put a little bit of a show on them. We need to show them the error of their ways. We need them to be so scared they soil themselves.
Oh, oh, and you will get me out of this place.
You have my word upon this. Can you
Wonderful.
manifest? Can you show them your form now?
I can show them my form now. For I have been blessed by she who dwells in twilight. And
At this point, I tell everybody, hide your eyes.
I think that's a very wise idea. Who's not hiding their eyes?
I'm
I don't want to
definitely
see them
hiding
go.
my eyes.
Are you all going to hide your eyes?
Yep.
We trust Barkin.
Brilliant.
Mostly.
Even I'm hiding my eyes.
Yes,
This is like Indiana Jones.
it is.
So you don't want to see this.
No, and you don't see it. It's great.
Yeah.
You don't see it at all. What you hear is and loud banshee screaming. You hear wailing. You hear rushing of air. You hear the sound of jars smashing. You hear awful crashing sounds. You hear curdling screams, and then it starts to quieten down, and then you just hear.
Slow count to 10, and then it's up to you. I'll chance a look.
Mm.
Does anybody
So-
look before you count to 10?
Yeah. Is anyone gonna look? Or are you gonna wait for Larkin to risk it?
I'm waiting for Larkin to give the go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, before I look, I try and reach out to Haig again and say, is it safe now to see again?
A voice returns in your head. It's slightly different this time. Slightly hissier. And it just says, "It is safe. And I'm here with you always."
I look, and if it is safe, I tell the others that it's safe.
Yes, you look, and it's lovely and safe. And what the gentleman said about there being a lot of blood in here, my word, he was correct. There's blood everywhere. There's blood around the three piles of the piles of three robes you see dotted around. There's a lot of blood around there. You see blood on the ceiling. You see blood on some of the artifacts. You see an invading cat. Love them. You see And you see the horse, which has some spatters of blood on it, but the horse is fine. It's not the horse's blood. The horse is just kind of standing there looking a bit confused still.
Can I approach the horse and follow some of the care instructions about how it likes to be patted?
You notice that the horse is actually, when you start approaching the horse, it starts to get nervous and starts to get a bit skittish. Starts to look like it's panicking a little bit.
Give it some snacks.
Well,
So
somebody...
yeah, in the flashback situation about ways to effectively, I'm thinking about horse tranquilizers and so on. And in my head, it kind of manifests as little kind of blow darts kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if we can get close enough, we don't necessarily have to kind of use the blow dart. We could just dart it.
Yeah. You've got a good relationship with your pharmacist friend, apothecary friend. I will require a roll though to see what repercussions it may have on you.
What kind of a roll would you like?
Well, you tell me. It is up to you with what however you think you would persuade or whatever you would do or whatever, really.
So I think I would try to charm her and basically say that if she helps me out, we can go out for kind of one of those kind of nice afternoon teas, you know, so that she gets some kind of treat out of it. And obviously, you know, I can make sure that she gets kind of reimbursed for any costs and stuff, so she's not having to try and hide it in that way. So it's a more kind of a sway kind of role than it is anything else, I think.
Wonderful. Roll. You can either you can roll your sway, and you can also push yourself should you wish to as well.
Yeah, let's do that.
So you take 2 stress.
Oh, where's my dice gone?
And yes, roll.
Every time I press the D6, it disappears. Why is it doing that? No, it's not letting me roll.
Oh no.
So every time I put 1 dice up, it gets rid of it. I guess I could just roll 1 dice twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So let's hope the second one.
Well, yeah, roll that one again.
Oh
no.
Oh, it hates me forever.
Is that the second time that you've rolled 2 ones tonight?
I've definitely had a lot of 1s. The dice hate me.
They do seem to, yes. So she says, look, I would love to help, but I mean, these are dangerous tranquilizers.
Yes, I'm trying to do it to make sure that nobody gets hurt. You know what animals are like when they're sometimes erratic. People could get hurt if it decides to just, you know, go off on a mad moment. I'm trying to protect people more than anything else, just to make sure that nothing goes horrible.
Look, I said I'd help and I'll help, but there's going to be repercussions for this. You can have one. But I'm going to have to log that it's been lost, and I'm going to be questioned, and it's going to come back. It might come back on you. So, because of that, you are going to take 2 heat. Because I said it would be how badly it went wrong, because of your good relationship with your pharmacist friend. Which is starting to sour slightly as you keep asking for these restricted pharmaceuticals. But you've taken 2 heat from that one. But you have 1 dart, 1 chance. So who wants to do the deed with it?
Who's got the steadiest hand and the best aim?
Well, it's your tranquilizer. Give it a go.
Well.
No, how the dice have liked me this evening.
Vixen, you're looking like
Vixen's got good hunting skills. So.
Mm.
I am generally proficient with sort of blow darts, but I'm not too fond of the one shot. But I can give it a go if nobody else is feeling lucky.
Just make sure you blow and not suck.
Okay, then. I think for this one I'm going to have to push myself.
Brilliant. So take 2 stress. Sink yourself next right. 5's enough. 5 is enough. So, you fire the dart. You blow the dart at the horse, and it hits it. And it's not enough to knock the horse out, but it is enough to calm the horse down a lot. And it works really quickly. You can see why your friend didn't want to give you lots of this stuff, Grimlyn, because this stuff is potent, really potent. And this Colt is just kind of looking quite happy now, quite chill, quite mellow. But because you rolled a 5, there is a complication. The complication is, well, you don't see, once the dart falls off the Colt and rolls away, you don't see where it goes. And it's going to be found in the future.
Unlucky for your friend.
Yep.
However, and I will say, probably because of the commotion above as well, that's another segment coloured in on the discovered trail. But so far you've done well. You've only got 2 out of the 8 filled in. So yes, you have a horse now, a Colt in front of you. It's looking very mellow.
Saddle him up, I suppose. Put your rug on him. Get him disguised.
You can put the saddle on him. You can get the bridle on him. You can disguise him with the rug. What do you want to do? You're gonna have to give me a roll for whatever you want to do. If you want to disguise it, you'll have to tell me.
I want to put the rug on him.
Okay. Are you going to secure the rug somehow?
I've not thought that far.
Mm.
Can we tuck
Brilliant.
it in the saddle or put it under the... I can't put it under the saddle because then it's all... Well, you could do.
No, I have thought it through. I've done a bit of tinkering whilst I was with this, and I've shaped the rug somewhat, shagged it up down the sides. It's surprising. I didn't know what the colour of the horse is, but I do know what the colour majority of goats are. I mean, I'm assuming it's browns or whatever, and it's whatever. I'm just going to do a tinkering roll if that's okay with you.
Brilliant.
But there will be some sort of straps and stuff that I've already kind of attached.
Well, this sounds a bit like a flashback as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm happy for it to be. I mean, I've brought the rug with me.
Yeah. No, I mean, you
had all of the intentions of doing that, but
wonderful.
Flashback as well is absolutely fine, as you didn't see me, the rest of you, tinkering away with this.
No. So roll your dice, please.
So
Let's see how well you do.
What's the difference between Flashback and a normal roll?
No difference. It's up to me, and I've decided I'm feeling kind.
That's good.
In that you're not going to take any stress for this one because you've been carrying this rug around the entire time as a large chunk of your boxes of load. Yeah. So I'm happy for it to not take a stress this time.
I'm nervous, more nervous about this roll than any other.
You should be. Well, you've tinkered. You definitely tinkered. It's just how well. Oh, that's good.
You all thought I was mad.
You thought he was mad and he's not, because you have made this excellent goat disguise costume. The only problem, and this is with the 5, the only problem with this costume is that Larkin had assumed that horses had horns.
Oh, yeah.
So there is a large patch in the center of the head where you can see the horse's head.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
that's where
I've only been told about horses with horns, but you know, I mean, it's not bad, is it? You could say I pulled the rug from all underneath you all because you weren't expecting it to work. Huh?
Oh. So you now have this goat horse. How are you going to get it out?
Well, we saddled Miss Hoity Toity up, and I mean, you're taking the goat for the ride, aren't you?
Okay. So
I mean, I'm assuming, Jellybean, that you've kind of we said at the beginning that you've written goats before.
I ride goats, yes. So I mean, this isn't a goat, but I'll ride it like it is a goat and hope
It
for
is
the
a
best.
goat.
Well, yeah.
Look at it.
For everyone else, it's a goat, but it might not respond in the same way.
Channel
but
the
it'll
goat.
be right.
mm.
Yeah.
So it's easy enough for you to saddle it up, and it's easy enough for you to get on said horse goat. The issue currently is that this horse goat is riding the moonworm, and unfortunately will not be moving without some kind of guidance or assistance externally at the moment.
I guess Vixen can grab what's left of the rope and sort of lead it forward on a steady trot.
Wonderful. Yep. So Vixen, you are leading the way in getting this horse that looks like a goat with Jellybean on top of it up the ramps and out into the main area of the warehouse where people are still working. There's definitely a different feel to the warehouse now. A very different feel to the warehouse.
Before we go up there, can I just do one final thing in the room before
Yes,
we leave?
absolutely. Yeah.
In the centre where the blood is, I kind of want to just leave a little symbol, which
Okay.
is the equivalent, the arcane equivalent of 2 fingers up to Satari.
Brilliant. So yes, you leave that, and you got a good feeling that about that.
I just wanted to know that it was me that has taken her sacrifice from her.
Yes,
With all the repercussions that might come.
indeed.
Sorry for disturbing your flow.
No, it's absolutely fine. So you all end up back in the main room, but everything feels very off. People are kind of working, but they look a little like, don't know about this. Oh, I think it feels a bit wrong to me. Everything just feels really wrong at the moment. What do you want to do? How do you want to approach this?
Can we see whether the clock is ticking anymore?
The clock is not ticking anymore.
Maybe the ritual they were doing was affecting the clock. I don't know. I say we walk with purpose and meaning and just get out of here. We've done this is the job, not the factory.
Mhm.
Yeah, we just need to get this horse delivered.
Wonderful.
And come back if you really want to investigate more. But
Hey, I mean, you seem to think I've got a heart of gold or something. If someone wants to pay me to kind of remove their problem, then, or pay us.
now we know there's a problem, we can ask if anyone wants us to pay us to do it.
Well, that ritual didn't go particularly well for them last time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so do you more talking? Sorry, Vixen, you want to say something?
Yeah, just when we start going through, we'll be doing the same sort of act with Jellybean, who I probably shouldn't call Jellybean thinking about it. Jennifer, making sure that she's steady on the horse, and now that she's seen what the riffraff do.
I ain't seen no horse.
Well, let her have her beliefs.
Brilliant. So, you all move through, doing exactly what you did before with the making out that Jellybean is like the mill owner's daughter sort of thing, and people don't pay you any heed whatsoever. In fact, many of them just kind of look and go, "Ugh, toffs." It's the sentiment is getting a little soured here now, and it seems whatever spell had been cast is starting to crumble. You get through to the yard, and in the yard, the gates are still closed, and there is a loud foreman in the yard saying, "Gonna be late for the shipment. Need to do something about that. We need to get these boxes loaded and get the gate open." You fool, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be riding the goat out around here.
I am supposed to be riding the goats, and they are supposed to be accompanying me. Out of the way.
Can you give me a roll, please?
Well, I guess it will be sway again.
Okay.
But I will push myself, I guess.
Take 2 stress then.
Yeah. So what's that? An extra dice?
It is an extra d6, yes.
Oh,
Another 6. He says, "Oh, all right, you are. Okay. Sorry, Mom. Let me open the gate for you. It's an awful night out there, though. You don't want to be going too far. Make sure you bring the goat back soon. We'll be needing him for the next delivery. God, he looks big. He goes to the gate and opens it up. And the last thing he says to you is, before you can head out, is, "Oh, and be careful of the scavengers there. Well, normally we, have guards with us, so just make sure your people keep an eye out, because
Quite right.
the scavengers like to sometimes prey on our goats."
I've got a whip.
Do you show him the weapon?
But only the whip, like a horse.
Oh, okay. Right.
Not like the knife.
Okay. He says, "All right. Best of luck, miss. Enjoy your ride."
Carry on.
And you go out onto the streets of 6 Towers, aware that there are eyes watching you from every single shadow. The mist and fog is thick, however, which might help. You have to get this across the city. Not only to the next area over, but what are you going to do? You are aware that people are going to be trying to try and get to you.
Well, can anyone go back and get the container? Because that was our original plan, wasn't it?
Yeah, we'd need extra goats to pull it, though, wouldn't
Oh,
we?
that's true, unless it's already hooked up.
I think we
Which
just,
you won't, 'cause
it looks like a goat. They want to scavenge for a goat, yes, but there's 4 of us. Maybe if you jump off it now, it's not looking like you're so much of someone of worth troubling.
maybe. Although it's easier to ride it out of danger if I'm on it.
Not with the sedatives that's in it. It's not going anywhere. I mean, you can try, but look, it looks like he's only got 3 legs at the moment.
All right then. Well, yeah, we're gonna come under attack then.
Oh, Grimlyn's got a bag of
Oh yeah,
tricks.
Grimlyn's very capable. But we're
You've
not allowed
got
to
your
kill
shiv.
people.
Yeah, you're not allowed to kill people. But that doesn't mean you can't shiv them up a bit and like make them go off.
I know.
Look, we're the business now. Yeah, we're a crew. Let's act like a crew.
All right, then.
We just want passage through. We can try and talk our way through, saying we don't want any truck. But if you want to throw hands, we'll throw hands. You know, and that's what I say anyway. I mean, we're a pack, yes.
All right.
We're a pack. Let's act like a pack all together. Strength in numbers. I mean, we could howl.
Grimlyn.
Should we
Grimlyn
howl?
looks in. Let's not howl. Not
Oh.
until we think that there's a reason to howl. That's just attracting attention.
No, but it's telling people that, hey, don't mess with us. Spoil sports.
I think Vixen's going to reach into her overcoat and draw out a Colt.
There we are. That's a good bit of
Lovely.
iron there. You see?
Lovely.
Come on.
Wonderful. So yes, you have this pistol, and you can all proceed through the streets of 6 towers on your way to Charter Hall. Now, I'm going to require some kind of roll for how you're either going to avoid danger or be menacing or something. Who wants to do this, and what are you going to do?
Well, I'm happy to support in whatever, as it was my idea. If someone wants to take the lead of looking menacing, like someone who's got a great big Colt, I'm happy to support you, but I'll do it if nobody else feels like they don't want to.
Unless we want to try and do it stealthily.
Well, okay. If you want to do it stealthily, I'll still support that.
As stealthy as we can with the big horse anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we definitely want to not attract more attention with the howls and stuff, but
Could possibly
we are going to have to put on a bit of a front for anyone who is looking already.
Yeah,
Sorry, Vixen.
on a front, projecting something a bit further or willing to kill, perhaps a sway roll.
Okay. Yep, I'd be happy with that. So, you get an extra d6, and Barkin, you take 1 stress.
Yeah. Do I need to roll as well, or does this?
No,
just
Vixen needs to roll. As
I'm
you're
happy
doing...
to help.
Oh,
Can I help?
know. I think I'm going to say yes, you can. You can take an extra stress, and you get an extra d6, Vixen.
Okay, so 46. Let's be hopeful.
Oh, you're 6 in there. Wonderful. And you are in a risky position. But with the tool you've got, so that's from your boxes of load, and the 6 and the help from everyone else, you have real, like, don't chuff with me. Like, we are badass. No one should mess with us. As you move through the streets of 6 towers, you start to feel a little bit like the shadows get a little less populated around you. As you get towards Charter Hall, it definitely feels like message has spread ahead, and people are keeping well away from you until the mist starts to dissipate somewhat. The buildings become less dilapidated. The electric lights, the lamps, they start to work again. And it goes from the strange wails and tolling of bells to the reassuring hum of the electric light system in Doskvol. The sound of commerce going on around you, the sound of people not trying to kill each other, not directly anyway, not with their fists. It takes you not very much time to find yourselves at the residence of Mr. and Mrs. A rates. It's not an estate of not a complete estate, but it is got some a large wall around it. It's got large gates, quite a big house, and a lawn. You can see that there would be enough ground here for the horse to, have a good space to trot around in. There's a large bell pull outside, which you can pull, and very shortly a major domo sort of butler kind of appears. It's a lady wearing very, very proper clothing, very official looking sort of trousers and tailcoat. She says, "And what is this?"
This is the special delivery for Mr. Waits.
Mr. and Mrs. Rates are expecting a horse, not a goat.
It's in disguise.
I know a goat when I see one, young lady, and I see a goat right in front of me.
Listen, you impertinent servant. I'm telling you, it's a horse. It's disguised as a goat because we just had to walk it across that absolutely dreadful area back there.
You look like an urchin.
Oh, finally someone appreciates my effort. Thank you. See?
I'm somewhat sullen now because she's obviously got no skill of noticing anything when she
On the other hand,
says that.
she's clearly appreciating your rug handiwork.
No, but
It's so good, she doesn't understand it's just a disguise.
Okay. Well, if you don't want A rates to be I rates, then get them for us.
Oh, that was quite good, Barkin, yeah.
Thank you. I know my letters. Or should we just
Well-
bring it into the house?
I could take it home. Actually, I'll take it to my stables if we're not going to get paid anyway.
We'll pay you if you brought us a horse.
I cut the straps and
Grand reveal.
Oh my word, look at that. Well, yes, that is a horse. Oh my word, isn't she? No, he. Isn't he magnificent? Well. Yes, I believe it was 6 coin. Right, let me get this sorted. She says, she hands over 6 coin to you, 6 basically large bags of money. She takes the rope for the horse, and she leads the horse in and hands it off to a kind of a gardener that's nearby, and then looks at you all and says, "Well, Miss A rates. She's always wanted a horse." Well, thank you very much. Don't spend it all in one place now, will you? And she winks and closes the gate and walks back to the house with this gardener looking after the horse, giving it a carrot. Giving it a carrot-like object. It's probably a mushroom that's shaped like a carrot. Leaving you all once again to have another job well done. Congratulations. You have managed to steal a Colt, deal with a cult, and not get defeated by the Occult. Well done.
Very nice.
So we now need to do some of the tidy up afterwards. So once an engagement is finished, a number of things happen. So there's the payoff. You get 6 coin. heat happens. So you accumulated 3 heat throughout that one. And based on the nature of your operations, you also take extra heat. It was relatively smooth and quite low exposure, I think. No, I think standard. So let's say it's 5 heat. So that's the total of 5 heat
Remember
so
that
far.
all the people I swayed will forget about it. So like
They
the
will, yes, but you did drop drop the tranquilizer, and there are 3 people that are currently dead that used
I
to run a
mean,
mill.
Occultists doing occult things dead
Yeah,
because of
there it
occult
was.
means.
All right.
I mean, technically speaking, we had nothing to do with it.
No,
They
no,
have
okay.
for weird purposes. Who knows?
You've swayed me. I'm happy to stick with 3 heat. Is it a high profile or well connected target? Well, you'll never know.
Toffs in it. That's what they say.
It's always toss.
Yeah. So you haven't increased your wand level too much yet. I do have to make a roll. Okay. I think you are all right at the moment. So yes, I think you're in entanglements. Yeah, there's going to be some questioning, basically. Someone you know is going to get questioned. And unfortunately, it is probably going to be your apothecary friend again, Grimlyn. However, now we go to downtime activities. So you have time for 2 downtime activities. You can either acquire an asset, start a long-term project, recover, reduce heat, train, or indulge advice. Now, training's more about leveling up, which we'll cover in the future. But you can either acquire an asset, so a special item of common items, a cohort, so an expert or gang, a vehicle, or a service. You can reduce heat, or you can indulge advice, or start a long-term project, which is whatever you want to do, really. So I'll go around you one at a time and ask what you want to do for your 2 downtime activities. We'll start with Larkin first this time.
I want to start a long-term project, please.
Okay, yep. What would you like to do?
This person riding me, this traveller
Yep.
I have with
Adric.
me.
Yep.
So I'm going to start sort of communing with them and
Okay.
sort of finding out, not trying to get them to leave me, but
No, because they won't.
no, but I kind of want this to be a positive symbiotic relationship. So
Right. Yeah.
I want to try and work out how we can work together for the betterment of us both.
Brilliant. I'm going to start a clock with 4 segments, and I'm going to fill one of those segments in. Brilliant. And what would you like to do for your second downtime action?
I'm going to try and reduce some stress.
Okay, so that's recovering.
Well, yeah, it's.
Oh no, that's indulging
vices.
vice. Sorry, that's
Yeah.
indulging vice. Yes.
No, this is.
So,
Can I combine that with my long-term project, kind of? Because
yeah.
my vice is being possessed. So
Yep.
can I just let Haig take me over?
Yep. Absolutely. So, can you roll? So you need to pick your lowest attribute. So your attributes are the three sort of headings, and your attributes are the total. The value is the total of the first column. So it might be 0.
Yeah, I mean my lowest attribute is prowess, which is 0.
Brilliant. So as usual, you roll 2 dice, and we take the lowest, and that's how much stress you clear. So that's 2. So you clear 2 stress. If that ever takes you below 0 stress, I know it won't in this case, but it takes you below 0 stress, then you overindulge.
Right.
Brilliant. So
I'm on 3 stress. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. We'll go to Jellybean next. Jellybean, what would you like to do?
Okay, well, she's got level 1 harm spooked. So
Cool.
I want to get rid of that.
So that is recovering. So that means you're seeking treatment to heal your harm.
I don't know what heals spooked. But...
So you don't have a healer yet. And that's a long-term project to try and get a healer.
Is it something Larkin could help with?
If anyone has the Psysicker ability, they can try and help you heal.
No, unfortunately not.
No.
Okay.
So yeah, you need basically to try and get someone or know someone that's a healer.
Okay. I have a friend that's a gang leader. Would he know anybody?
Hmm. I would say yeah, it's difficult to say. It's really difficult to say.
Can we
I'm going to say
donate
yes.
some coin to?
Yeah, I'm going to say with your connections and your family connections, you would know someone that would heal you and only you.
Okay.
So I need you to roll me a d6, please. So healing is on a clock. So and it shifts everything down one. That's really good. You fill 3 segments of your healing clock. So you need 1 more segment to be filled for you to be healed, for all your harm to go down 1. So you can do that again if you want, or you can try and reduce your stress.
I mean, it would be good to make it go away altogether, I guess, but I think she's going to want to reduce some stress as well.
Cool. So what's your vice, Jellybean? It was stabbing, wasn't it?
Stabbing stuff, yeah.
All right. So pick your lowest attribute, and if it's 0, then roll 2d6, and we'll take the lowest number, and that'll be how much you reduce stress by. And let me know if it goes below 0, because again, then you'll have overindulged. 4.
Yeah.
How much stress are you left with now?
None. If I get to remove 4, then that's 0.
Did you have 4 stress?
No, I had 3 stress.
You have overindulged. You remove your stress, but you have overindulged.
Well,
So
I didn't get to stab anyone, so
the issue, unfortunately, is you've gone to town. You didn't get to stab anyone. You didn't know, and you've gone absolutely to town on this meat. And the bloke that you lets you in is just like, no. Look, I can't sell that. Look, sorry, Jellybean. For the next few weeks, you're tapped. All right, you're barred. Look, don't look. I've got to replenish my stock. I've got to get things right. No, you've.
I just pay you.
No. Don't work like that. Look. The questions are going to be asked. Look, just come back in a few weeks. All right. So yes, you have been tapped because you overindulged, but you do get to reduce your stress still.
Okay.
So we next go to Vixen. Vixen, what would you like to do?
I think initially I'm going to indulge in my vice in
Brilliant.
luxury.
What is your vice again?
Indulging in luxuries.
Luxury. Wonderful. So what would that be for you? Would it be spa? Would it be like massage or rich food?
I think this time, I believe I went to the spa last time, I'm going to go and indulge in some real food. And
oh, lovely. So can you give me your lowest rating? And if it's 0 for your lowest attribute, you remove 2 stress.
Okay.
Good.
And that will
That's
leave
good.
me on 3.
Great. That's very good. And what about your other action? You've got one more thing you can do in downtime.
I would be interested, I don't know if this will be possible, in obtaining or learning how to make tranquilizing darts for a weapon. I don't know if that would be a project or...
Yeah, that'll be a long-term project. Okay. I'm going to start a clock with 6 segments. Trank darts, and I'm going to fill one of them in. That's really good. And finally, we go to Grimlyn.
So first action, I think I would like to try and acquire an asset.
Okay. What would you like to do? What asset would you like to acquire?
So I would like to try and acquire a network of contacts, either workers or kind of street children, who I can use to get information on locations and things that are going on. Like a
Okay.
little sort of spy kind
Yeah.
of thing.
It's a spy network. Okay. So I need you to roll, but you can also spend coin to increase the roll.
Okay.
So yeah, so you get to roll. Roll at your current tier, which is a crew, is you kind of in tier 2 at the moment. So yeah, roll 2d6, please.
Right. I will roll it twice because it's still not letting me do that for some
That's
reason.
fine.
You haven't got a 1 anymore, you got a 6.
Do you want me to roll again?
Yes, please. Because if you get 2 6s, that's a critical. Shame. But that's really good. So yeah, you put the feelers out there, and you need to keep doing it to make it more of a permanent thing. But you've started to piece together a spy network, well, an informant network. There are people now that will talk to you and tell you information that you need to know. So yes, you are well on your way to now having a network of informants for the gang that will tell you good things, bad things, whatever you need to know. That's fantastic. How about for your other action, Grimlyn?
I'm wondering if there's any way that I can try and offset the heat that my apothecary friend has suffered. I don't know what that would count as an action.
Reduce heat.
So I kind of, one of the things I kind of like to do is see whether or not we can acquire not necessarily a drug dart, but perhaps just a dart that we can plant somewhere. So when they go, or one of the darts is missing or whatever, and she's taking heat for it, then suddenly it turns up and she can kind of be surprised because she wouldn't necessarily know to tell them to look there.
Yeah.
And then that kind of puts the heat off her, and then maybe we can try and move that over a bit.
So you're going to have to use one of your skills, but you will definitely reduce heat by doing this. So on a 1 to 3, you reduce 1 heat. On a 4 to 5, you reduce 2 heat. And on a 6, you reduce 3 heat. If you get a critical, so 2 6s across multiple dice, you reduce 5 heat.
Okay. So it depends what you want me to roll it under, because it depends if you want me to roll for having kind of hidden it somewhere in there.
It's up to you. One roll covers the whole lot. So whatever skill you think is the best.
I think if I can work out a way to get sort of sneak in there, maybe use Tinker to open a lock drawer and put it in with something that is, not supposed to be there. So the worst that happens is that somebody goes, oh, well, somebody hasn't done their sort of, put things in the right place. And rather than you've given a dart to somebody.
Brilliant. No, roll your Tinker then, please, and we'll see how many successes you get and how much heat this reduces.
So I'll have to roll the 2 dice separately again.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know why it's.
So that's the 3 is the highest so far. 3. But still, 3 is not terrible. It's one heat reduced, and you managed to do it. And it does reduce your heat. So your heat goes down to 2. And the extra heat you had from last time. So I think you're about 6 heat at the moment. But that's good because your friend is not taking as much of the flak. And the relationship has not soured. You're back on good terms with them again. Which is very good. They are grateful for the things you've done if you've told them, and if you haven't told them, they'll probably add a few things together because they know they gave it to you.
Yeah.
Well done, team. That was very, very good. I'm incredibly pleased. And I want to say a big thank you to everyone that's played. So thank you, Rachel, Kyle, Sarah, Andy. I want to say a big thank you to you, the watcher. If you like this, give us a like and give us a comment or subscription or, money. No, don't give us money. Give Andy money. But no, thank you very, very, very much. I'm not going to force everyone to say a thank you or goodbye or say anything that I want to say because it'd be awkward. But I will just hand over to Andy for anything he wants to say.
Yeah, no, absolutely amazing fun as always. I really, really enjoyed that. Very flavourful, and I kind of love Blades in the Dark. Fan of heist and your GMing style. It was great fun to have banter around everybody else. I just quickly want to go round and because you didn't want to ask people, but I just want to very, very quickly ask people what their favourite moments were. Start off with you, Jellybean, or Rachel, that is.
Okay. I mean, I like playing into the whole thing that Jelly's, a spoiled rich kid who just does this kind of gang work because she she likes getting into violent situations with people because she can. So it's fun where we and I was hopefully not taking too much of the spotlight, but there was a lot of opportunities for us to have these sway moments where we could get what we wanted by just me sort of talking down to some lackeys.
I love the character, I really do. How about you, Sarah? Favourite moment?
I really love the description of when all the workers just stopped. I thought that was really atmospheric. I really enjoyed that. That was very much where are we going now? Kind of, this could be about to go really horribly wrong.
Are they all
kind of thing.
come
So that
for
was,
us? Or what? Yeah, no, absolutely. I felt that too.
I did think that was going to happen.
Yeah, it was very, very
Yeah.
cool. Very cool. And last but not least, well, Kyle, what did you favourite moment?
I think it was the cultist, just like, close your eyes, bloodstains.
Yeah.
I'm really glad I did that.
Horrible, horrible things. Did you have any standout moments, Kristian? Anything that you
Can't remember any of it.
All right, fair enough. Just flew by.
maybe
No.
we should ask if it went according to plan.
It did. Yeah. The moment I hate blowing my own trumpet. The moment I am proudest of is the clock stopping. That was a thing that popped into my head the other morning when I was walking the dog. So yes.
It was a very good, very much a standout moment for me as well. Very, very cool. So I know it's late. We all need to get off, but thank you very, very much. Fantastic game again, and I think we are able to persuade you to come back and do this next month.
Yeah, I can probably be persuaded.
I can't wait. So yeah, thanks. If you did enjoy it, please give us a sub and a like. And if Blades and Dark is the thing that you're watching for, we'll have another one in about 4 weeks' time. But goodbye from us all now, like you say. We will see you next time. See you later, everybody. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.